Hello everyone, welcome to Arknights Endfield. I've been playing this game for 1 month and I thought that it's a good time to review this game now because playing for 2 days and then just giving your thoughts isn't enough. Like you really need to spend a lot of time, and this game demands a lot of time, a lot of your time. It wants you to play this game like a normal AAA video game, unlike a gacha game where in the first 10 days you want all the pulls and you want all the events and you want all the banner currency to drop and this and that, and the end game so you can build your characters and flex basically. But this isn't a game like that, and I kind of knew it when I was going in because Arknights is kind of like this. It took me a good while. It took me 6 months in Arknights to get used to everything, to get a good team, to get meta operators, to actually be able to do the X stages and the S stages and the challenge modes. So I assume that this game is going to go on a similar pattern. It's a different kind of gacha game, and here are my thoughts on it. Now, first of all, the story. As you can see over here, you have 4 characters. I have kept Ember, Levitine, and Ardelia, although it's kind of rough because I just call her Iafala and I call her Surtur, the Arknight's curse and all. But yeah, so you play with 4 characters. Initially you get Pearlika and Chen. The story overall is, it's kind of nice, for a game that just came out. It hasn't found its writing strengths. You see Genshin Impact, they took 2 years to get to Sumeru, which is I think where the story started to go, become better and better. And with Star Rail as well, where I think Plain Arcadia is the moment where they're starting to get comfortable in the writing. I don't like Amphorius. And then even in Arknights, when you see, or in FGO you had Singularity 6 Camelot, where things started to get better. And even in Arknights, you see chapter 4, episode 4, where they have the Chen and the Lungmen arc. That is where the game started to get better, the story started to get better. You to get more insights on Tallulah, on Mephisto, on the entire reunion arc and all. So I think we need to give some time to this game's story. But overall, the presentation is top notch. They've utilized the engine really well. This game is made on Unity engines. All these graphics that you see over here, it's on the same engine that Genshin Impact runs on, which is absolutely insane. It's absolutely crazy. So they've really optimized it, and they've optimized it super well, super well. If you go to Wuling, I'm going to just show you right now, I'll just pop into Wuling, which is the prime area of this game, the one that was promoted the most compared to Valley 4, because this is an actual city. And over here, the optimization, the graphics, the capabilities of this engine is really well utilized. The developers have really studied their work. They did their homework for this, and it's still kind of makes me go mad. This game is made on the same engine that Genshin Impact is made on, or Star Rail is made on. So you see the shadows, you see all these unique animations, you see these graphics, these the sky design, the tree design, the shadows and all. And this game has ray tracing and DLSS, which is absolutely crazy. I have no idea why Genshin still hasn't implemented DLSS and the frame cap, because this game has a 120 frame cap. Even if you enable DLSS, you go up to 170, 180. If you have an RTX 50 series card, it might go up to 200. It is absolutely crazy. But this game, if you look at the graphics and all, it is super gorgeous. But yeah, that is it. The graphics are gorgeous. The story is kind of like I said in the earlier parts, it's kind of okay. And at this point, every side mission, every main mission, every NPC that you interact with is just glazing the administrator, this main character, this little penguin over here with the mask. Which I honestly hope that we get a feature to remove the mask, because I want to see what's under that, under that mask. You have these cute eyes, which you can see even if you look closely, you can probably see the white stuff. So that is her eyes, and it is actually really animated and all. So I just hope they give us a feature to remove that mask. But yeah, everybody glazes her, glazes the penguin. And while it is okay, because I'm coming from Wuthering Waves, and Wuthering Waves has this really hero trope, hero effect, where Rover is the greatest being of all time, and every human being on Solaris 3 will kneel down before the almighty Rover, and all the females will become his girlfriend, except unless your name is Imith. Like, if you're not Imith, then everybody will become Rover's girlfriend, and the males were all simp for him and this and that. So it's kind of like that over here as well. Not too much, because you have characters like Tang Tang and you have Mifu, who clearly show no interest in the Endmen. Like Tang Tang is just like a friend, like the best friend that you really want, and Mifu is work. She's kind of like Zani type of, like, kind of. But then you have Zhang Fangyi or Shuang Fangyi, or I have no idea how the names are called, but I think you can go to there. I think you can go meet her. I'm going to show you the map over here, because I have no clips right now to attach it, but I'm going to talk over it. Zhuang Fangyi is a mega simp, the mega simp of the Endmen, and it is absolutely crazy. It is absolutely like when I was playing the quest, and you had this Act 2 part in Wuling City, and we go on a date with her, and it was insane. It's like going on a date with, like, if you've played Genshin, it's like going on a date with, what should I say, Zibai. Like, instead, like, you just meet Zibai, and then it's like, we just go on a date. It's kind of like that. It kind of makes sense, honestly. Like, you have this really godlike being, the prime minister of the state or something, and she has these really crazy powers, and she's gonna be a really hot banner, like really hot. She's gonna sell like fire. And then she's glazing, so it's kind of weird why they did that, but hopefully, like, down the road we see more of her, we get more of a story, and she's just not reduced to an Endman girlfriend. But overall, the visuals, like I said, the visuals in the story, the overall presentation, everything was absolutely phenomenal. Now, coming forward from the story, while we go meet Zhuang Fangyi, alright, some spots really have these micro stutters for some reason. I have no idea why, but it's probably the optimization. It's kind of the first gacha game that didn't need a ton of updates in the first week, which is kind of nice. Look at this. This area is insanely gorgeous. I don't know if you can meet her though. She's not here. Okay. But this is where you find Fangyi. Yeah, she's a simp for the pets. And the AI, let's talk about the combat. The AI, as you can see, absolute cinema. Peak AI over here, peak AI experience. They're running into a glass wall. Fala finally understood the mission, but she also understood it. Yeah. So the combat over here is it's not a button masher like many people have been calling it a button masher. I don't believe it's a button mashing game. I can show you right here. We're just gonna do some funny stuff. Let's just do some funny stuff.
Do what you must, Professor.
And then it's kind of like Arknights, where you can go with any random team and it's just going to work. It is absolutely going to work. Although you won't get the most optimal results, but it will work. So it does not restrict you in the sense, like, in kind of like Star Rail or Genshin or Wuthering Waves, where, where you have to have, let's say, if you're using Flins, you need to have an Nefer to get the best out of it. Or if you're using Nefer, you need to have Lama. If you're using Mawika, you want Sitlali. Or it's kind of like, in Star Rail, where you have Casters and you need Hyacine to, get the best of it. Over here, it kind of works. Obviously, you can get the best of it by using, a physical team with Poggers, Ember, Endmen, Chen. Then you have the Lavatine team with, and Ardelia or Gilberta. And then you can maybe use Akikuri. Or, maybe Poggers as well. But overall, this game isn't, like, it doesn't hurt you. And even the end game mode that you had, I could do it with my broke ass teams, not gonna lie. I cleared the normal stage. I haven't done the agony mode, but I cleared it with, what should I say, Endman, Ardelia, Perlica and Chen team. level 70, and my characters were level 60 at the time, so it kind of worked. Honestly, the game's not that difficult, and I kind of like it that way because, you know, we already have tons of sweaty games today in today's era, where especially if you like, you know, look at Wuthering Waves, where, you know, where that's the most sweatiest game that you'll ever play if you want to, like, you know, have the perfect combos and such. Or if you're playing Genshin Impact and you don't have the latest shill of the month, then it's gonna be a really tough time. So by contrast, this game is really comfortable. You know, you have these combo counters, although, you know, it's not optimal, obviously, because, you know, I'm using Lavatine, an arts unit, with Endmin, a physical unit, and that just will not work. But still, it kind of works, and it is more than enough for majority of the things, so it is nice. That part is nice. The combat, I feel, is fun. Like, you know, many people did not like it, many people don't really like it, but I found it to be quite fun. It's kind of enjoyable, you know, with, you know, pressing the combo encounters and, you know, pressing the skills and the buttons and the ultimates and all. It is nice. It is actually very nice. And it's not like, you know, the reaction stuff, or like, you know, you have to focus on dodging and the concerto bar or something. It's kind of unique in its own way. Now after that, combat is, you know, it's kind of nice, but, you know, it's kind of a hit or a miss. It depends on what you like. Now after the combat, we're gonna come to the main part, to the main thing, which is the factory, because this is the main thing. Now, you know, you have the normal exploration, you have the normal collect this stuff to get more stuff, you have this collect chest to get more currency, you have the gacha banner, which I'm going to go to it later, but we're going to talk about the factory first now, because this is the main part of this entire review. And I think I'll spend the most time here talking. Like, it might not be long, but I will spend the most time talking over here. I feel the factory is probably the greatest thing that they've ever made. And, you know, if you're not min-maxing it, if you're not min-maxing this stuff, it is so addicting, it is so fun, because, you know, you have all these stuff. This is a very haphazard factory that I've made just on a whim. Like, you know, I see stuff in my AIC plan. You have this really good AIC report plan where you can see your entire yield and usage depending on, you know, what you're making right now and how it is. You know, don't look at the theoretical data, but look at the current data, and you can just figure out, you know, what needs more materials, what needs less materials, what you can ignore, what you cannot ignore. And it is really nice. It is absolutely nice to see. Like, you know, like over here, I just noticed something which, you know, it's gonna bite me in the back if I don't correct it right now. Where's that part? Where's the ferrium part? So, like, yeah, you see over here the ferrium part. Yeah, so my yield is way less than the usage, and I should probably, now if you're min-maxing it, obviously you would go back over here, or you would go back to where you're using your ferrium parts, and you would, you know, try to optimize it and this and that, and, you know, try to get the best stuff out of it. But then you have a casual smooth brain like me who plays Arknights, mind you, and has cleared X stages and S stages, and I have trimmed medals. I've been trimming medals since the last 1.5 years. So I'm just gonna copy this entire thing and paste it again over here, and I'm just gonna call it a day. Now you have the blueprint structure, you have everything over here. You can easily copy it as well, like, you know, like you just bulk action it and select the grids that you want, and you can say replicate, and replicate, and replicate it will. That's it. And that's what I'm gonna do. You can also just, you know, construction it, just, you know, do your stuff. And it is honestly very addicting. It is honestly very, very addicting to make it. That's it. I got everything, and we're gonna submit it, and it's done. It is done. So now I don't have to worry about more ferrium parts at all. That is it. That's my smooth brain work, and I have all these depot loads. What I'm going to say is that the factory, once you get into it, it's kind of tough to get out, because you're going to focus so much into it. You need to have all these parts set up. Now I haven't focused on the Wuling factory yet. I'm still, you know, trying to get my Valley 4 factory optimized, and, you know, I want to be satisfied with it. So that's what I'm working on. But in Wuling you have much more stuff, and in Wuling you get access to, like, you know, making gear This is your artifacts, which is really good over here because you do not need to farm it. So there's no RNG crap over here. You just need to build a factory, farm these parts, and then you can automatically craft them. Like I can show you over here. I have already have crystal components to craft these, what should I say, the purple ones. So you just craft these. That's it. You have it. That is it. Over, done. You got it.
Still waiting
And then
for
you can
something?
just fix it on them. That is it. And you do have the RNG stuff over here, which is the weapon etching stuff, which honestly I haven't really dived into it that much, but I do believe that it is much more easier because you have these hard pity tickets that you can use to get a desired essence, and then once you get the perfect essence, that's it. It is over. Like, you just want to max out that essence and then forget about it. So it's not like the Genshin stuff or the Star Rail stuff where you're continuously farming artifacts to get that top 1% build or whatever, which honestly, like, you shouldn't really care about that. Seriously. You have these big factories, but then in the map you also have these other small factories, so it's kind of like a massive factory world, like a factory game. You just gotta build the factory over here. It is nice. Like, if you don't get into the factory, you're gonna have a lot of tough time because this game really wants you to build the factory. Like, majority of your stuff over here is dependent on the factory. Your gear, the way you explore the world with explosives, with zip lines, with power relays, and electric pylons and stuff. With, if you want to AFK farm essences, you need to craft these weapons that you can see over here, these heavy gun towers. You can craft them, but for that you also need the factory. So the factory is at the core of this entire stuff, which I mean, after playing for 1 month or so, I've understood that you have to develop the factory. So if you're not into factory system games, this game might not be for you, and it's totally fine. But this for me is a completely new experience, like the factory building stuff. So it is quite fun, it is quite addicting, and I also like it that you're not forced to min-max it. So like you can just, if you're having low power, just attach another thermal bank and generate another power battery, and just you're all good. You don't need to min-max stuff. Like you need to get all that energy under 3k or something. You need to have all the stuff farming. So it's kind of like a personal challenge, but it's not compulsory. And overall, I think that this would be unique, would be fun, and it's perfect right now. Like there are some things that might need a little tweaking, like like the ability to craft anywhere. I would really appreciate that, because let's say you're exploring somewhere in the outskirts. Let's say like you're over here and you want to drop an electric zip line or a pylon, but if you have none of them, you can't craft them on the go. You need to go back to a factory area, you need to go back and farm over there. So I think I've read it somewhere that they're working on that feature, that the ability to, you can you just craft machines anywhere, everywhere. So if they implement that, I would be really helpful, because I would be really glad, honestly, because sometimes you encounter these mines, you encounter these ore locations, and you don't have the kits. So you just have to create a system. You have to unlock the nearest teleport point, and then you need to go back and farm, and it's kind of like an additional step which is not needed. So I just hope they fix that. Apart from that, I wish they added an auto collect feature. Like you have all these resources over here. Now okay, these are normal resources, you can find them anywhere, you can farm them, but then there are certain resources that you need to level up your operators. Like let's say I have Poggers over here and I want to promote him. So you have all these rare gathering sites. Now if you go, they're in the outskirts. Like I have no idea why they are so far. I wish we get a machine like that can just place it over here, kind of like the ores, and you just place it over here near a rare growth site, and it'll automatically keep on collecting that stuff. So you're getting passive growth. You don't need to actually go over there. It's kind of like a full automation, which is probably the focus of this game, to like fully automate stuff. So I think those rare growths need some sort of stuff like for automation, like automatic collection. And there's also the there is this recycling station, which I honestly forget. I honestly forget about this. And you get a lot of materials from it to level up your Dijiang, which is your base, which is the main base, which is kind of like the base from Arknights. And to level them up, you need recycling materials. So I wish there was an auto collection system over there. Like, you could just select a few recycling stations, maybe 3 or 4, and then you set up an auto collection over there. So like, you're not even forced to go to every recycling station. It's like, maybe 3 or 4, and that's it. That is enough. Yeah, that's a few things that I think need some tweaking, but overall I think the factory system is really fun. It's really fun. Okay, onwards to Dijiang, which is another system, which is another an area where you need to put in effort. It's kind of like the factory, a mini factory of sorts. Like I said earlier, it's the base from Arknights, and if you know what Arknights is, if you know what the base is, you would understand what Dijiang is. You make stuff over here, you interact with your operators. Over there, everything is 2D. You need to tap your operator, you need to tap Chen, and then Chen goes, huh? Or if you need to tap your cute Amia, she's a doctor. So like, yeah, you can interact with them in 3D. You have all these nice voice lines, and you can also offer them a gift to build your trust. So like, let's just give her a camera.
An indicator? Oh, please forgive my lapse in decorum.
Yeah. So look at her, she likes it. She likes that. It's kind of nice. It's kind of nice that you can interact with this stuff. You can interact with all your operators over here, and sometimes these operators also give you gifts.
Please accept this.
Like, see, Ember wants to give me a gift. Let me just give me that. Give me the gift. Oh, she gave me a Buckbill S. Oh damn. I'm still on Buckbill B. But yeah, so it's kind of nice. You have this showcase where you can showcase your items if you've bought them. I haven't bought them because I haven't really gotten that much time to farm the bills. And then over here you have the usual stuff from Arknights where you can manufacture weapon materials, so you don't need to consistently farm from this protocol space, because this one will do it for you. You can just view the manufacturing details, and they're just passively farming level up materials. They're passively farming growth materials over here. Now obviously, like I said before, that you really need some sort of automation. This is the solution that they've provided, although I don't really like that. Honestly, I don't really like this because I often forget to go to Dijiang. It is not compulsory to come to Dijiang every login, so I kind of forget about it. And even this, you have two manufacturing setups. You have the clue setup, which is I think it's something like it's kind of like the same system in Arknights where you get credits, so you have to trade clues and all. It's kind of a dumb feature over here. In Arknights it works because over there you have many people willing to open the base, who actually open the base every day, and you have people sharing stuff. Over here I don't think many people really visit Dijiang, especially after if they've leveled it up. I don't think many people visit Dijiang anymore, and that kind of hurts because then you have this reception room and it's eating dust. It's absolutely eating dust. Like, I got this, but okay. I've tried to share some of my extra clues with people, but nobody really responds to it. So I think maybe with time it could get better. Who knows? But yeah, so that is it. That is Dijiang. Also, you have this H space salvage. It's an endgame mode, kind of an endgame or a one-time thing. Like, imagine it's kind of a rogue-like mode where you do multiple attempts, but it's not unlimited. Like, once you get all the rewards, there's no incentive to go to it, and it's kind of sad because it's a really fun mode. But with it not being a weekly thing, like like the Divergent Universe in Star Rail or Annihilation mode in why am I coming back here? Or Annihilation mode in Arknights, OG Arknights, it's kind of kind of boring. Honestly, I find it kind of boring. I have no idea where Space Salvage is. Where is it? Oh. Okay. So yeah, you have this H-based salvage thing where you have these rewards. I mean, I honestly have no idea. Like, you have a ton of rewards over here, but it's a one-time thing, and once it's over, it's absolutely over. So you don't really want that. I wish they made it a weekly mode. That would have fixed the drought, that experience. But yeah, that is it for Dijiang. On to the final stuff, which I think is operator design, operator level up, and the end game mode. I obviously have an end game mode, Umbral something, which is, I mean, it just exists. It just exists. Like, it's nice. It is nice that it does not force you to to level up your operators, and you can just go with level 60, level 70 operators and get all the rewards. Like, even if you do the agony mode, the mission is to just attempt the agony mode. It's not some timer bullshit, like get 12 stars in under 3 minutes or something, or the usual Hoyoverse or the Wuthering Wave stuff. Over here you see the monumental etching stuff, the Umbral monumental. That's it. You just complete the normal modes, which is very easy if you've leveled up your operators up till level 60, 70 max, and deal a total damage, and challenge. You just need to challenge them in agony mode. That's it. You get the rewards. So it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice in the way that you're not forced to level up immediately. You can play the game at your own pace. You're in no rush to you're missing out on rewards or such. And it's a nice approach to stuff like this. Even in the weekly routine, you have weekly missions over here, kind of similar to what we have in Arknights. And they give us a random. They give us whatever this Oro Barrel or whatever it's called. So yeah, the end game mode and all, it's nice. It is nice because it does not force me to level up. It's kind of like it caters to some of the casual people out there, which I think is nice because majority of the end game modes just focus on the hardcore players, and I haven't really felt that this game needed to be played hardcore. Like you're not forced to play it hardcore. You just can chill out, enjoy the music, enjoy the world, enjoy building a factory, and chill out. Look at these gorgeous characters. Look at her. Just look at her. Which brings me to the final point, because like I said, previous one was the final point, but yeah, I completely forgot about it. The final point, the gacha. Because while this is a great game, it is a great AAA game, it is a great game if you want to just casually play, chill, build the factory, stuff like that, but in the end it is still a gacha. And you want to pull characters, so you have the banner over here, and this banner is atrocious. The gacha system over here is so bad that you just you're better off ignoring it and playing with your free Ardelia and your Endman, and you get a free 5-star. Whoever you get, I mean, they're good enough. That's it. That is it. You just, this banner system over here, it is absolutely rough. It is so rough. It is so bad. Because first of all, you're guaranteed an operator in 120 pulls. The spark is 120, which, I mean, I would have understood it. It's fine. But then it should be attainable. It should be attainable with the income that you get. And I used my 120 spark to get Lavatane. Like, I had to hit hard pity to get this Surtur. For some reason, when she gladly spooked me on the Virtuosa banner in Arknights. So like, yeah, I had to get her because she is Surtur and I really love Surtur over there. So I went to 120, but then after that, like after, if you see the banner system, if you see my Oro barrel count, I only have 30 pulls. I did 30 pulls more. Like, like I've done 40 pulls on this banner, 40 pulls, and 70 more pulls. Maybe that's it. Maybe one more 5-star, but one more 6-star. But that is it. And I don't know what we're gonna get for Yvonne's banner, which is about to come in 2 days. So the income is kind of messy right now. And forget about the limited banner, the standard banner. You don't even have a continuous source of permanent tickets. So let's say you have Wuthering Waves, where you have the monthly shop reset, and you have certain treasure chests and exploration abilities where they give you the permanent wishes. In Star Rail, you have Divergent Universe, or the currency war system, where they give you permanent tickets or the shop reset. And then you have Genshin Impact, where you have this monthly reset, obviously, and then you have certain exploration region, like the meeting points or the Tomb of Emba or whatever in Natlan or something. Every region has certain points where they give you a good supply of permanent pulls. And then obviously when you level up an operator, when you level up a character in Star Rail or in Genshin, they give you standard pulls, they give you permanent pulls. In this game, you get standard pulls if you raise your development level. I mean, you get a few pulls over there. You get some pulls from stock redistribution, which is mostly like one pull for every upgrade. So you're getting 4 or 5 or maybe a few more tickets, maybe 10 tickets max from here, and that's it. And then the login bonus, and that's about it. You don't really get more permanent tickets. So there's also no monthly shop reset. You have this shop system, but there's no shop reset. I tried it because 1st of February hit, but there was no shop reset. So it's kind of weird. How do they expect me to hit 300? You have this 300 select designation stuff from Star Rail. How do you expect me to hit 300 if I'm not going to get permanent pulls? I'm not going to use my Aura Barrel on this, because this is a permanent banner and I'm going to get spooked by them either way on this standard banner. I really got Ember last night from the Gilberta banner, so it is what it is. So this is a major problem. And after that you have the rates, which is they've used the Arknight system, which I understand. The Arknight system is kind of okay. It's like a 50-50 stuff, where if it's in your favor you're super lucky, but if it's not in your favor you're absolutely down. You're rough. It's rough, and it just hurts because you're continuously on 50-50. I've lost 2 50-50s on the Certa banner, and I lost 1 50-50 on the Gilberta banner. So every time I pulled on this banner, I've lost a 50-50, except for the guaranteed Certa at 120, which he came on the 120th pull. So yeah. So the banner system is, like I said, and even in Arknights, if it's in your favor, if you've seen my Virtuosa pulls, I got P5 Virtuosa over there, and I was really lucky. But then at the same time, when I pulled on the recent banner, the Haruka banner, I got spooks after spooks and only got Hoshi on the last day or so. So it is kind of rough. It is absolutely kind of rough. She's so cute though. I just noticed that she has lipstick over there. I never really noticed that. But yeah, so the banner system isn't really that nice, and I don't know if they'll improve it or not, but it is what it is. It is what it is. If you ignore the gacha, if you get a good set of characters, if you get a few characters, if you get some characters that you're happy with, I think it's a game that you can happily ignore. Ignore the gacha. So let's say you get Chen, Perlakai, and Endman and Ardelia for free on the 3rd day of your gameplay. So if you played that, if you get that team, it is strong enough for majority of the story. I've finished the entire story up till ruling whatever we have with that team, so it is okay. It is good enough. So you can safely ignore the gacha in this game, because I think majority of the game focuses on the factory building and the exploration and the zipline structure. So with that being said, my final review is that this game on a whole, it's nice. It is different. It is different from what we have. It is the graphics, the designs, the character designs, the voice acting is nice. The factory system is really well done. I feel like it is really intuitive and really easy to understand. And then you have the nice combat animations. The animations are very vivid and very nice to look at, and it might hurt to play, but playing on a controller, it feels really fun. Even if you don't do massive damage, it still feels fun. And then you have the graphics, like it's just graphics. The story is kind of meh, but I'm still hoping on when the story starts to develop more. We have a certain character Lydia or Lycia or somebody, I have no idea, the Tallulah XP, and that could be an interesting plot point in the future, and I have no idea how the Wuling arc will go, so we'll have to see in version 1.1 how the story progresses, whether it will be an Endman Glaze Fest like the Robo Glaze Fest, or whether it'll be a concrete story focusing on the region and the characters, like like Genshin Impact does with Nordcry and Natlan. So I think overall the game is massively, it's being scrutinized too early, like it's being judged too early. I spent a month and I still have a lot of content left. Like if you see my missions over here, I got a lot of content left. I haven't even reached exploration level 6, and I still have 2 of the Valley 4 outpost prosperity. I haven't even touched Wuling yet, so I have a ton of Wuling quests left. Like I have not really touched Wuling because I want to save it. I'm still working on Valley 4. So with that being said, the game is really, really nice if you play it casually, if you play it like a AAA game, like log in maybe a few minutes, or if you want to play a bit, play for an hour or so and then close it off, and the game won't just rush. I just feel like it'll grow at a slow pace. That's just my feeling right now, but who knows, it could change anytime. Honest impressions, it just reminded me of Death Stranding a lot. It reminded me a lot of Death Stranding with the architecture, with the structures, with the zip line and the factory system, and the part where you have to deliver content, deliver stuff, deliver packages from one place to another, and you have to use zip lines at the highest level because you cannot take hits, jump, or teleport at that point. So it kind of incentivizes using the zipline structure, which is nice. And that being said, it's kind of, it's a great game. It's a great game, and I think people who are just saying that it's a bad game or it's rough or and all, it just, I mean, I don't really relate to them. I've been playing this game for a month, and I really want to do this review after a month because that's when I could give my honest opinion. Like I feel a month is good enough to judge a game, not 2 days or 3 days. But yeah, with that being said, fun game. I would give it an 8 out of 10 or something, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. You can obviously try to start it and see if it suits your taste. But with that being said, I will still continue to make Endfield content, mainly the story, because I have no idea what to make else. Like, what else should I make? I mean, I could make the factory more optimized, but that's more pain on me, so I'm not going to do that. I will not optimize my factory. If it needs more energy, thermal banks go brrr. Yeah, I mean, you have this expansive space. Why would I want to factory optimize it? I'm just gonna put stuff when I need it and call it a day. But yeah, that's it for now. I will cover the story. I might do some certain end game stages once I get my characters leveled up. Like you see this over here, I have to level them up, so maybe one day when they're leveled up I will focus on them, and obviously I will do some gacha videos, but I'm only gonna pull when I get the 120 guarantee. That is it, or unless it's cat that I absolutely love, like Nifu or Fangi. But with that being said, how did you like the game? Did you enjoy the game? Do you enjoy the game? Are you still playing the game? And let me know in the comments below. And I think that's it. That is it. That's all I can say at this point. So until then, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to support me, and I will get back with another review in about 6 months or so, because things might change by then. So with that being said, thanks for watching once again, and yeah, have a great day. Let's go build that factory. Goodbye.